the Mystical Archive presents. Dear Archive Explorers, today we are opening one of the Mystical Archive's most urgent, most unsettling, and perhaps most crucial files, 2026, The Great Reckoning and the Threshold of Civilization's Transformation. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel it? That gnawing sense that the world is accelerating towards something, that the ground beneath civilization is shifting? Record-breaking heat waves, century-defining floods, earthquakes striking where they shouldn't, regional wars erupting into global tensions, pandemics leaving wounds that haven't healed, superpowers circling each other like predators waiting for the first strike. This is not paranoia, this is pattern recognition. Ancient Eastern wisdom points to 2026 as the beginning of a 60-year cycle known as the Red Horse and Red Sheep, a period historically marked by regime collapse, devastating wars, and civilizational upheaval. Modern science warns of rare solar alignments capable of triggering geomagnetic storms that could cripple our digital infrastructure. And geopolitical analysts, they see flashpoints multiplying Taiwan, Korea, the Middle East, any one of which could ignite a chain reaction. Are we approaching a year of reckoning, a threshold where everything we know transforms or collapses? Today, we examine the convergence of cycles, the mounting crises, and the question every civilization must eventually face. Will we destroy ourselves, or will we awaken? If you're ready to see what's coming, let's step into the archive of tomorrow. The convergence of historical and cosmic cycles. History does not move in a straight line, it spirals. Ancient Eastern wisdom traditions track a 60-year cycle that carries specific energetic signatures. The years 2026 to 2027 mark the return of a particularly volatile phase, symbolized by the red horse and red sheep, associated with fire, conflict, upheaval, and transformation. Let us examine the historical pattern. 1966 to 1967, previous cycle. The Cultural Revolution devastated China. Race riots erupted across America. The Six-Day War reshaped the Middle East. Global student movements challenged authority everywhere. 1906 to 1907, two cycles ago. The San Francisco earthquake leveled a major city. Revolutionary movements swept Russia. The Ottoman and Qing empires began their terminal decline. Financial panic gripped world markets. 1126 to 1127, ancient cycle. The Jin dynasty conquered the Song capital. Entire royal courts were captured and exiled. Dynasties that had stood for centuries collapsed overnight. The pattern is unmistakable. Every 60 years, the wheel turns toward destruction and rebirth. But 2026 carries an additional risk. Scientists predict a rare solar alignment that could trigger massive geomagnetic currents powerful enough to disrupt satellites, collapse power grids, and create a global digital blackout. Our entire civilization runs on electricity and data. What happens when both disappear simultaneously? The geopolitical flashpoint, the Far East, and global conflict. Analysts warn that early 2026 will see hidden truths, exposed scandals, cover-ups, and long-buried secrets suddenly surfacing. Political earthquakes will precede physical ones. But the most dangerous flashpoint lies in the Far East. The Taiwan Strait has become the world's most volatile choke point. A single miscalculation, a submarine collision, a downed aircraft, a naval confrontation could ignite a fire that draws in every major power on Earth. This would not be a regional conflict. It would become what some analysts call a new war of the four powers, involving the United States, China, Russia, India, and Europe in direct or indirect confrontation. The consequences would cascade. Supply chains already strained would shatter completely. Economic sanctions would weaponize global trade. Cyber warfare would target civilian infrastructure. Alliances would fracture and reform unpredictably. And here is the deeper prediction. This pressure will cause authoritarian systems to crack from within. Like glaciers melting under heat, Massive political structures that appear invincible will begin to fragment, splitting into smaller states, autonomous regions, or chaotic transitional governments. The old order will not survive 2026 intact. The question is what will replace it. Digital darkness and scientific terrorism. The wars of tomorrow will not be fought only on battlefields. They will be fought in cyberspace, in laboratories, and in the invisible infrastructure that sustains modern life. Imagine waking up one morning to find your bank accounts zeroed, not hacked, but erased. Your city's power grid collapsed, hospitals dark, traffic frozen, transportation systems paralyzed by AI-driven viruses, communications networks silent, no internet, no phones. This is not science fiction. This is scientific terrorism, the weaponization of advanced technology against civilian populations. Our civilization has made a fatal bargain. We have placed everything, our money, our records, our memories, our identities in the cloud, but the cloud is not in the sky. It is in servers, cables, and systems that can be attacked, disrupted, or destroyed. The prediction is stark. The AI bubble will burst. The technology we trusted will betray us, and those who survive will be those who maintained physical, local, tangible backups of everything that matters. The future belongs not to the most connected, but to the most resilient. The X virus and biological threats. Beyond digital warfare lies an even darker shadow, biological catastrophe. Health analysts warn of a coming pathogen dubbed Disease X that will dwarf previous pandemics in lethality and transmissibility. Unlike natural mutations, this virus may be a hybrid bioweapon engineered in laboratories designed to spread through the air, resistant to existing treatments. The scenario is chilling. Cities emptying again, but this time with far higher mortality. Global isolation not for weeks, but for seasons. Healthcare systems overwhelmed beyond recovery. Trust in institutions collapsing entirely. Parallel to this biological threat, food systems will fail. Climate anomalies and shattered supply chains will leave supermarket shelves empty. Rationing of basic necessities once unthinkable in developed nations may return. The four horsemen of ancient prophecy, war, famine, pestilence, death, are not metaphors. They are convergent crises arriving simultaneously. Nature's fury, earthquakes, tsunamis, and toxic clouds. 2026 will also be a year when the Earth itself speaks violently. Predictions include mega tsunamis in the Indian Ocean, reminiscent of the 2004 disaster that killed over 230,000 people. Magnitude 8+ earthquakes along the Pacific Ring of Fire. Underwater volcanic eruptions, releasing toxic gas clouds that drift over coastal cities. Imagine a poisonous fog descending on a sleeping metropolis, silent, invisible, deadly. Thousands could perish before morning without a single explosion or warning. The climate system itself will reach extreme polarization, some regions drowning in endless rain, others burning in relentless drought and wildfire. Weather patterns becoming completely unpredictable. Scientists speak of the Earth's axis of rotation shifting, of atmospheric currents reorganizing. What we considered normal weather may become a memory. Nature is not punishing humanity, it is rebalancing, and we are caught in the correction. Economic reset and the return to real value. Financial systems will not survive these converging pressures. The debt bubbles that have inflated for decades will finally burst. Stock markets will crash. Real estate values will evaporate. Banks will fail. And here is the critical insight. Digital money will become worthless when digital systems collapse. In this environment, humanity will return to what has always held value through every crisis in history: physical gold. Not gold ETFs, not digital gold certificates, physical, tangible, portable gold. When paper currencies become worthless and digital accounts become inaccessible, those holding real assets will survive. Those dependent on virtual wealth will discover it was never real at all. The economic reset of 2026 to 2030 will be brutal, but it will also be clarifying, separating illusion from substance, speculation from value. Dear archive explorers, everything we have described sounds like an ending, but it is not. The ancient texts that warn of catastrophe also promise renewal, the darkness before dawn, the destruction that precedes creation. Through these trials, humanity will be forced to confront the emptiness of materialism, the fragility of technological dependence, and the bankruptcy of conflict as a way of life. And from that confrontation will emerge something new, a civilization built on transparency and justice, technology aligned with consciousness, not control, resources shared, not hoarded, a return to harmony with nature and spirit. Many traditions speak of a savior figure, Maitreya, Messiah, Kalki, who appears in humanity's darkest hour to guide the transition. Whether literal or archetypal, this energy of redemption and renewal is encoded in our collective soul. By 2030, the prophecies suggest the foundations of a new golden age will be laid, a world without nuclear weapons, without engineered scarcity, without the illusion that we are separate from each other and from the earth. But here is the final truth. These are not inevitable destinies. They are warnings. Prophecy shows what happens if we continue on our current path, but humanity possesses free will. We have averted disasters before. We can do it again. The question is not what 2026 will bring. The question is, what will you bring to 2026? Will you choose fear or wisdom, division or unity, destruction or transformation? The darkest night carries within it the brightest dawn, and 2026 may be the year humanity finally chooses to write a different story. The mystical archive, truth archive, the future, is not fixed. Until the next archive entry, may you prepare not with fear, but with clarity, and may you be among those who light the way.